Because at number 8 overall, the Atlanta Falcons do one of the most shocking, if not the most shocking things I've seen in my 12 years covering the NFL draft.
Yeah.
They take Washington quarterback Michael Penix Jr., 8th overall. And what I said at the time, Carm, was in a vacuum, I get it. Like Michael Penix Jr.'s only flaws, we talked about this before the draft, four major injuries during college. He's the second oldest quarterback in this draft. He's turning 24 at the beginning of May. But if you're comfortable with the medicals, you probably think this guy's great. The issue comes in the fact that the Atlanta Falcons gave Kirk Cousins $180 million. $100
million guaranteed.
2 months ago? Can you make sense of this for me?
No, because I get wanting to guard against a Kirk Cousins injury. He's 36. He's coming off an Achilles injury. You don't know if he's really going to be ready for the start of the season. I totally get wanting a contingency plan. But why is your contingency plan, like you said, the second oldest quarterback in this draft who also has injury concerns, by the way? I was spending a top 10 pick on a guy that you, in best case, don't want to start for you for the next couple of years.
I'm glad you said that real quick. Falcons general manager Terry Fontenot was quoted after the pick, post-draft press conference, saying, if you believe in a quarterback, you have to take him. I get that.
Sure.
Then he says, if he sits 4 or 5 years, then it's a great problem to have.
What?
My guy. Not when you have a $200 million quarterback on your roster. It's not. Not when the Atlanta Falcons, even if they had traded back, could have been the first team in the draft to take a defensive player.
Listen, the Atlanta Falcons are not the Green Bay Packers. Nobody can get away with this. You can't get away in today's modern NFL by wasting a quarterback's rookie contract. It just doesn't work. Team building doesn't work like that. And the only reason it works in Green Bay is because they don't have ownership pressures and they also have a track record for this working out for them. It's unheard of to draft a quarterback, again, with that high capital and not actually want him to play for you until years down the road.
I don't think you can oversell how gutsy, or if you don't want to be so nice.
Irresponsible, reckless.
Well, I was trying to be nice because I like Michael Penix Jr. as a player.
I do too.
I think Michael Penix Jr. could be successful. And I'll even point out Atlanta is well positioned to help a quarterback succeed. When you think of the offensive line, you have Drake London and Kyle Pitts and Bijan Robinson is there.
And a defense that he can rely on.
He's not supposed to be playing. That's the issue here.
Right.
Like,
exactly.
If you want insurance, can I interest you in a Spencer Rattler or a Michael Pratt or a Sam Hartman much later in the draft? The report came out after the draft was over, after the pick was made. The Falcons told Kirk Cousins when they were on the clock.
On the clock, right. He had no idea this was coming.
He did expect the Falcons might address the position.
Sure.
Not at 8 overall.
No. And justifiably so. Kirk Cousins apparently was mad that you're using a pick like that to not make the 2024 team better. This
is a team that, and I'm not handing them the NFC South. That's not the point. But they are a team that is expected to fight for that, to be in the mix for a playoff spot.
Yes.
And that was something that I thought was so impressive about going to get Kirk Cousins is you address the quarterback need without having to use the number 8 overall pick. You say, this could be Dallas Turner. This could be Leatu Latu. This could be
an offensive
tackle. It could be a receiver.
Yeah.
It could have been Roma Dunze if you really wanted to load up on the offensive side of the ball. It could have been so many players,
offensive linemen, that
make this team better immediately. And it's a guy that you hope never needs to play for you anytime in the next 2 years. And that's, again, I want to stress, like, it's not a knock on Michael Penix. It's just a knock on the Falcons' approach to this whole thing.
I want to caution against holding this against Michael Penix.
Right. All he can do is put on the hat.
He didn't expect this.
No.
He was shocked too. He did not think that call was coming from Atlanta. And no one apparently thought this call was coming from Atlanta. Like, across the board, it seems that there was plenty of interest in Michael Penix Jr. And if anything, I think he kind of deserves our sympathy because Michael Penix Jr. starts at another team that trades up to get him. which we hear that there was a ton of interest in doing so for him. So sorry, Michael Penix. Instead of going to another team and being able to start, you're going to ride the bench in the best, again, in the ideal scenario for the team you went to.
Let's not get carried away, because as the number 8 overall pick in the NFL draft, Michael Penix is also now on a fully guaranteed contract worth many millions of dollars. So like, sure, I'm sure he wishes he had a cleaner path to the field, but that's a nice consolation prize.
I suppose.
It's as bold gets. Terry Fontenot, to some degree, I applaud you for having the balls to go this far outside of the box.
Only if it works out.
But only if it works out. And if it doesn't, everybody's so fired.
And I was just going to say, here's the thing. We're not going to know if this worked out until 3 years down the line. Unless Kirk Cousins gets hurt and now you've got a ready-made starter, like if he re-injures the Achilles or something that knocks him out for the season again, now it's like, all right, now you look really, really smart, Atlanta. But
can I play devil's advocate?
Okay.
Jordan Love looks pretty good.
Yeah. Again, the Atlanta Falcons are not the Green Bay Packers. You can't do this. You can't get away with wasting multiple years of a contract.
They did do it.
They did.
And it's one of the crazier things
it is.
I've ever seen. We'll see how it ages. Maybe Kirk is coming off the Achilles. Maybe they'll need Michael Penix Jr. this year, and
they're just paying Kirk Cousins $100 million guaranteed for no reason at all. That would work out for Kirk Cousins. I wouldn't feel bad for him. I don't feel bad for Kirk Cousins right now.
Again,
I know he was blindsided, but I don't feel bad for him.
$90 million in the bank the minute he signed that contract. No, I think he'll be okay.